Sil kept stealing the spotlight with her pregnancy news, and I finally snapped and told her that no one cares, which led to a family argument. My husband, 30 meters, and I, 26F, got married during COVID. We couldn't have a big ceremony because of restrictions, and unfortunately my family couldn't be present as they live in a different country. With restrictions finally lifted, we decided to have a more traditional ceremony in my home country with my family. My husband's family came, his parents, some friends, cousins, and his sister, 32F, we'll call her Sarah, and her husband, 28 meters, we'll call him Matt. Sarah and Matt live on the other side of the US than the rest of the family. They had their wedding a couple of months back in their home state, and ever since then when we have a conversation, even without our wedding coming up, Sarah would say that she and Matt are planning to get pregnant on the trip for my husband and I's wedding. No big deal, I just made sure to tell her that she needs to ovulate for that to happen, but other than that I could not care less. What started to get annoying is when we were talking about all the activities/excursions people wanted to do so could go ahead and book it, Sarah would always say make sure there's enough time for Matt and I at the hotel so we can get busy making our baby. Again, kind of gross, a little annoying, but whatever, they are grown-ups. About a week before we all leave to go to my home country, Sarah and Matt arrive in our home state to spend time with family as they rarely see them. My husband and I, his parents, and my husband's brother and sister-in-law are sitting chatting, when Sarah blurts out she is pregnant. We all get really excited, congratulate them and saying how happy we are. We start asking some questions, and Sarah says she is 2 weeks pregnant. Everyone kind of loses a little bit of excitement and say wow, that's really early, we suggest to wait before telling other people, just as a lot can happen. Opal usually don't even know they are pregnant until at least 6 weeks, and even then they are encouraged to wait until after the first trimester to tell people. My Bill and Sil were very happy and excited for them, but cautioned them even more as they have experienced multiple miscarriages before having their first child. Matt replied by saying they are only telling the people closest to them, e.g. his parents, her parents and her siblings, no one else since it is so early. Well, the next day, Sarah had called her great uncle and his wife over for drinks and decided to tell them too, called her one aunt and uncle and told them, and by the end of the day basically the entire extended family knew, as well as some of her mom's friends which stopped by the house and Sarah told. With each person Sarah told Matt got more agitated, as they had agreed to only tell a select few people. Matt finally gave up and asked her why she doesn't just post it on Facebook as it will be quicker, to which she replied, she wants to, but she think it will be frowned upon. My husband came to me and said it feels like she is trying to draw the attention away from us and our wedding, as she is known to do anything and everything to have the spotlight on her. I said to not worry about it, as when we are in my home country, she isn't going to know many people so she won't say anything. He agreed, but went to his parents and told them what he was feeling, and asked if they could politely suggest that she keep it to herself when we left for the trip. They agreed that it was valid for him to feel that way, as they know she hates it if the focus is not on her. Anyway, we leave for the wedding and I see my mom for the second time in 5 years. Obviously it was a very emotional reunion, but we wiped off our tears quickly and sat down for a meal with my husband's family. After I introduced her to everyone, the waiter take our order and the first thing Sarah says to my mom is, your daughter probably already told you, but I won't be drinking this trip. My mom says that it's no problem, you don't have to drink to have fun, and that Sarah will still have fun, even if she chooses not to drink. Sarah interrupts my mom to tell her it's not by choice that she is not drinking, but that she is pregnant. Keep in mind this is 10 minutes after she met my mom. My mom says congratulations and keeps on with another conversation. Sarah interrupts my mom again and tells her how she is 2 weeks pregnant and just so excited. My mom, who is in medicine, then tells Sarah the same thing we did, that she should probably wait until she is in her second trimester to tell people, and Sarah completely ignores her. The same thing happens with my aunt, cousins, uncles, sister and grandparents, all of whom she had never met before. My husband yet again speaks to his parents and asks them to please tell her to keep it private because it feels as though she is purposefully trying to take the attention away from our wedding. They say they will talk to her. Matt actually comes up to us and apologizes, by saying he agrees that it has gotten out of hand and that the number of people that know is way more than the number they agreed upon. Fast forward, we are sitting eating while we wait for one of our excursions. A family that I lived with for 3 when I first moved to my husband's country flew out for the wedding and met up with us for lunch. They have never met my Sil. The wife and I are talking about the wedding and all the arrangements, while my Sil sits across from us and listens to the conversation. My husband orders some shots for everyone at the table, when his mom says she doesn't want one so he tells the server -1. My Sil hears him ordering the shots and goes off yelling across the table. I can't drink alcohol. You know I can't drink a shot. Why would you order me one? Everyone kind of stops and looks at her for a second, before my husband says it's not a problem as Matt said he wants to. Everyone then continues their conversation including the wife and I. My Sil interrupts me and continues to make a big fuss over how my husband ordered her alcohol when he knows she's not drinking. The wife then says it's okay because Matt said he'll drink it so it's not going to waste. My Sil then says again how annoying it is that my husband ordered her a shot and I say to not worry about because I'll just drink it if Matt doesn't want it. She keeps doing this till I finally tell the wife, she's not drinking because she is pregnant. The wife says congratulations and asks how far she is and then also tells her to be careful of telling too many people. This situation happens about 3 more times in the week leading up to the wedding. Now this is why I might be the The last time it happened she was telling my HS friends at the wedding how sick she has been, but no one asked why she was sick, they were just empathetic and saying they hope she feels better. They came over to me to talk to me and she followed again complaining about how sick she has been and kind of pushing them to ask why she has been feeling so sick, when I finally said, Sarah, are you fucking kidding me? No one gives a shit that you are pregnant, they don't even know you. Sarah ran off crying and my Mill heard me say that and told my Phil, who screamed at my husband saying how we hurt Sarah's feelings and how she is just excited. My husband doesn't think I did anything wrong, and my HS friends think I was fine too, because they know the backstory. My mom and some of my husband's family think I was the asshole. So Ida for telling my Sil that no one cares that she is pregnant. Oop, she said she knows when she got pregnant, it was their anniversary from when they started dating, and then she took a pregnancy test and it came back positive 2 weeks after their anniversary. She could also apparently feel when the implant of the egg happened. Update 1. My husband and I finally had our honeymoon and we were unreachable during our holiday because we were out of the country. Our whole family knew this before we left and we told them the only way to reach us in emergency was to call the hotel. We knew Sarah was going in for her appointment while we were away and we told her we would call her as soon as we got back home. My husband and I was out one day for the whole day from the hotel doing activities, and when we got back we found a note on our room to say we have to go to reception. Once we got to reception, the person told us we had 7 missed calls from family and gave us a number to call. We didn't know who called or what about, but we thought it was an emergency. We called the number and it was Matt. He was very confused and asked why we were calling him on our honeymoon and asked if we were okay. We said that the hotel said this number called 7 times and asked him if everything was okay. Matt said everything was fine but Sarah wanted to talk to us. Matt called Sarah over and she asked us how we were having fun, etc. But we just wanted to know what was going on because we were so worried. Sarah said she went to the doctor and got some news. We asked her if everything was okay, because she kept not saying anything and we could hear her and Matt whisper to each other. We heard Matt say to her, "Did you seriously call the hotel 7 times to tell them this? It could have waited." Sarah finally gets back on the phone and said that the doctor said she was going to have twins. We said congratulations and asked if there was anything else. We thought it was an emergency. She said no, she just wanted to share the news because she is so excited and scared and she couldn't hold it in. She said she also called my mom and told her, "Ty our friends on social media." My husband and I both just said we were very happy for them but really didn't want to be bothered again if it was not an emergency. Sarah said we were being very rude and she just wanted to share the good news. We hung up because we had to get ready for dinner. When we got back into the US, my in-laws picked us up from the airport and were asking us if we spoke to Sarah. We said yes. She said she was having twins and we were very excited for them. My Phil then said Sarah told them we were extremely rude to her and Matt and we were dismissive and hung up the phone. We told them what really happened and they said that is not what Sarah has told the whole family. We are now back in our house and haven't spoken to Sarah or Matt, but Matt texted us both, but the text only came through later where he said he was so sorry that they bothered us on our vacation and he felt horrible. We just texted back and said all good, and that we were very excited for both of them. All I can say about this whole situation is that I am very happy that we live on the other side of the country from Sarah. Oop, I spoke to my Mill today and like everyone said, Sarah didn't calculate her time right. She is actually about 8 to 9 weeks pregnant according to my Mill. Sarah is also having twins that were 2 eggs and 2 sperms, not sure the medical name, and each has their own sac. Oop, I think Matt went with yes. When we got back to the US she sent us a picture of the ultrasound. I'm not a doctor or in the medical field at all but it looked like 2 babies to me. Update 2. Sarah is still pregnant, due at the end of August, with 2 babies, 1 boy and 1 girl. My husband, Sarah's brother, and I have started to try and have a family of our own. No success yet, but we are not worried. It only 2 months. When we were in my country, we were buying artwork and small furnitures from my country to put in the nursery of our future baby to have my culture too. Sarah and her husband bought some things too for their house and because she was pregnant for the baby. My mom was on the town with Sarah one day when we did a trip they didn't want to do and bought some things for us, and told Sarah it's for the nursery for our future baby. When Sarah heard what our idea for our nursery was with my culture, she decided she wanted her nursery to be like that, and bought almost everything we bought. We didn't say anything because we thought she was just buying for her house and for friends, souvenirs etc. Some time passed after everything happened at the wedding and the honeymoon, and Sarah called me to see if I can go to a store where we live and look at some baby things for her, because they don't have that store. I said yes and spent almost 2 hours with her on the video call showing her things, taking pictures, and saying we can get it and mailed to her if she needs anything, so we were on good terms. Then a week ago she posted on IG her nursery in progress and it was exactly what I said I wanted. The theme isn't something very common, but it's my culture. Think like dragons for China, or geisha for Japan. Very big part of the culture, but not usually a baby theme. I saw it and got mad, showed it to my husband and he was mad too, but said let's just give it a few days, and then talk about it again, and then we can decide what to do. I said okay. Sarah calls us a couple of days later to tell us the names she decided for her babies, and the boy name is very sweet, a mixture of a family name on Matt and Sarah's family. The girl name is where the problem is. Her first name is very pretty, we love it, but her middle name is my husband's name that we said we wanted to use if we had a son. It's not a girl/boy name like Taylor, it's a boy name like Jonathan, not the Rael name. My husband said that's his name and she knew we wanted to use it. She said it's also their uncle's name, and that's who it's after. My husband kept saying but it's his first name, and it's boy's name and we are still going to use the name if we have a son. This is where Sarah loses her mind. She gets so mad and starts yelling that cousins cannot have the same name and she chose it first, and my husband just says it's my name. Finally Sarah just hangs up after she said she thought my husband would be happy that she is naming the baby the same name as him. Again we give it a couple of days and then I had a talk with my husband and said I am still very upset about the theme and it feels like Sarah always gets what she wants, no matter what other people think, feel or are affected. I told him it's like the camel's back broke from all the straw, over the last years. I told him I was going to call Sarah and tell her how I feel and just talk about it. He said okay, but told me to wait one more day so I am not very angry when I call. I called my mom and told her what I told my husband, and she was furious. She pointed out that Sarah also showed me and my husband things she thought would look good in our nursery with the theme we said we wanted, so she knew exactly what we wanted to do. I took a couple of hours to get my brain ready and called Sarah to talk to her about it. When I was talking to Sarah, I made sure to tell her that the nursery wasn't the main issue, that it was just the last thing I could take. I told her it feels like everything is always about her, and how she wants it and screw everybody else. I said it's almost 4 years of that, and the nursery was the last straw. I made it a point to talk to her nicely, not raise my voice and use kind words. She went off. She said a nursery theme isn't something you can own, and that I actually copied her. I told her it's my culture so I don't know how that works. She called me such bad names and cursed me out, and I told her if she doesn't stop, I was going to hang up. She kept saying nasty things, and I told her again, and she kept going, so I hung up after I told her to lose my number and not contact me ever again. I haven't had any other contact from her, and my husband either. It feels like a weight off my shoulders. I wish her the best but she cannot be a part of my life if she is acting like this. I also removed her from all socials. So that's that, Sarah and me are done. My husband is low contact, only if she calls/messages hi, which is never. Her parents are shocked at me, but I said I'm done. Her mom asked if I'm going to tell Sarah when I get pregnant, and I said no, she is welcome to tell her, and my husband can tell her if she wants, but I am not speaking to Sarah again. Sarah had her shower, and I sent 2 outfits for the babies, because I brought them before the phone call, and she texted in a group chat to say thank you and I just liked the message. I told my husband that if I'm home, Sarah is not welcome in my house.